Okay, this is the second meeting in 2021. At least we can count from this, the marketing meeting. So we have our agenda today in front of us. It's going to be short, but I think we'll discuss more. I owe everybody that's probably watching an apology because this is going to be, I didn't upload for the two meetings already, so I'm probably after this one. I promised this already previous time, but yeah, I need to upload the videos and write some short minutes. What happened? It takes really 15 minutes. Just I forget it. Okay, so there are only few kind of announcements that what is coming from me. If anybody else has something else, please write the topic below. But let's jump right straight into it, if you're okay. Okay, so we have the first is the new fonts. We kind of have this open for, well, almost a month now. At the end, this is hard to we kind of back a bit front, and in the end, I just selected what I thought it's best out of our criteria. So the primary font, which is how it's called, the normal text is going to be Robota. Secondary, which is for titles and more fancy, like announcement and stuff, it's going to be Overpass, and for monospace, like code example, is going to be Fira Mono. How it looks like, let me open. This is not the last one. I think I'm still working on adjusting the sizes a bit, but here you can see this is the secondary font, this is the Overpass, and this is the Robota. Yeah, give it a try. I'll have a pull request because I'm just working on it, ready in half an hour, something like this. So you can give it a try if you're still around. Is there any kind of comment or, of course, help is always needed. So if you want to join on this, and if it's not something is wrong, we can always fix it later. If that's kind of okay, the next announcement, which I was working on, was the blog section. I think we discussed in the previous video was the how to actually do this, and I think this is the PR that actually should got merged first. Oh, sorry. So this is what it does. It joins the community and governance section, as we discussed. I need some work on the icons, as you will see, but really need some feedback here. What else can we add as I'll show it now. So the community page, let's reload it.
So my question about this PR about whether it replaces Planet, I don't mean that this PR does that, but whether it's intended to replace Planet.
Yeah, in generally, as we will go forward, I think we should replace Planet because Planet is just I'll show what the issue is in a second, but this is where the two pages got merged. So this community page is a bit longer, and the governance part is below, and this is the blog part. So they are like, of course, icons need to be improved, but previous announcements that we had, they're like latest. Then we have, which is showing only 10 of them. And then these are all of the announcements, which is a bit weird. I think we should just show like latest 10 announcements and then load them more as you scroll down. And I'd like to incorporate the weekly here as well. I hope to talk to Doman at one point. And what I find most interesting is these categories, where I'm actually just synchronizing what it's already in the how it's called, discourse. Yeah. So I suppose the events and jobs are the most. Then we have also like community more announcements from the discourse and planet. So it kind of gives a bit of a summary. And
for the all posts page, what you could do is, instead of having the full posts, do we have a link to a specific post as an individual page?
No, we don't have.
Okay, so we can't just list the titles of every post.
We can make them. That is not a problem. We just never did it so far.
I wondered if you are against, but if you are not against,
no.
This is how I work with the mobile NixOS site. The main page now lists the last 10 posts, and then the news archive page, which would be your all posts page, is only the titles of the posts. For now, it's not even stylized in any good ways, but you could use, let's say, the even a snippet for the start of the posts if you wanted, but reducing the total length of this page this way, you should be able to list all the posts without the need for any fancy load as you scroll, the type of thing, which is less accessible for some of our users.
Okay, yeah, I mean, but this is not only, so the block is actually, it's kind of meant for aggregating, right? So I'm actually thinking of replacing, so this is like, this content is really up for discussion, right? I mean, sure, we'll figure it out, the icons, but the content, now I definitely think that this part is interesting, especially like this part. This is something that might we even want to put as a separate item in the title, jobs, and then having like how many jobs are active or some, so it kind of drive attention to that. So we might treat the jobs as a separate thing. Maybe this all should be, so even like jobs, events should be different boxes at the top. And then kind of announcement and all these Planet blog posts, we kind of join them with our announcements, and kind of chronologically sort them together.
Yeah, and a way to help with the all posts page, which will grow because it's already there's already years of data for especially if we join the Planet stuff with it. It could be paginated by years, so 2020, 2019, 2018. So this way, it's predictable what's the pagination. You always have the same page for the same content. So let's say that you somehow want to link to the page of the previous post. You could link with a page that will be static once the year finishes, and yeah, that's all.
No, that makes sense. So if I understand correctly, and I'll then write it down, but so the upper bottom, the upper icons will be, so the latest will be the latest out of all of the announcements, and weekly, right? I will also include weekly RSS feed, right? So this is one change. We have two types of announcements. One, announcements that live on discourse. So I'm synchronizing it there, so the content lives there. And the announcements which we create on the blog, on the website. And those announcements should also have their own link to it, canonical,
so
right?
Community announcements for discourse, right?
Exactly. So, and then once here, I will actually just show the links. So again, I'm not going to show the content, or should I show the content? Like, I'm a bit confused here. Or should I show?
if it's not expensive to try both, or to make sure that switching to one or the other isn't expensive, that could be interesting.
Yeah, so showing the content is problematic if we don't control the HTML, which is in case of discourse. So it's weirdly formatted. So I can only do this with our announcements. Yeah, I would say let's table this discussion for the PR. Please help me here. I really need some help. Like try to find examples on other websites, and I think like see how what. So I would put it this way: if you go to any other website of open source project and you kind of looking for news, what you find useful, that would be kind of the good reply. And everybody that's also listening, if you can find some good
patterns for integrating news from the community, either within or separated from the main organization's news. That's part of our issue.
So we need. So okay.
Well, maybe a question is: do people actually look at news pages?
What would somebody look? Right. Jobs would be interesting part.
No, I mean, not what do they look at, but do they look at news pages? I mean, do you often go to the news pages of projects? Or do you follow Hacker News or Reddit or whatever, and you see announcements?
That would mean that the listing page can be cut to the simplest form, list of links for the items. If we assume that no one looks at the digest kind of view of the blog.
Right. I mean, one interesting thing would be, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, since it's only this is not the canonical news source, it's just the aggregation, so it doesn't really matter how we format it.
Well, it is canonical for our announcements, right?
Oh, okay.
And those we can actually show like in embedded, right? And I was even hoping that weekly news was living outside of the NixOS.org for a reason, because it was just easy to do it back then. Now we are actually touching the website, so we could actually bring it in,
I mean, you could also say that we should put all the news on Discourse.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it already is, right? So an example, all these links, if you see it at the bottom, but they all are pointing to Discourse. So events is actually a category on Discourse, and it only lists with the date in front, and that's it.
Oh, okay, so it's really all aggregate. Okay, I thought you said it's the source for our news events.
No.
Okay, so there's no original content here. It's all aggregated.
The only original content is actually latest. So our announcements, which are here in the latest and all posts, it used to be news.xml, and then we converted that into news.html.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying, maybe we don't need that anymore since we're posting those announcements on Discourse as well. So we just need to aggregate those from here.
But I actually think that the weekly announcements are quite interesting, because there is like a summary of everything. And maybe even we could start helping Domen to get this more regular, on a regular, integrated into the website, give it a design, and have it actually here, like what happened this week in NixOS or something, right? And that would be integrated inside. And that would be the first link. Okay. And all the other categories, we can actually then maybe even put there as in this bar, in this like as a navigation, this, I don't know how to call them, icons, buttons, right? So there would be, for example, there would be weekly would be the first link, Second would be jobs. Third one, events. Fourth one, announcements. I don't know. We can figure the rest out, right? And then the rest of the categories can, if we have more, we can just have categories at the end, and that would be at the end, and the rest would be there, kind of in a similar way that it's already done.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not sure. How do you like this, even if it makes sense?
I mean, it looks good, yeah. And a lot better than what we had. So.
Okay. I'm not happy with it, the content-wise, but I also like it visually.
So, do you want to keep the RSS feed, or? It's not.
I just added it there because it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea if people use that.
That's actually a good idea. That would be good metrics to have. Maybe we can even measure this on.
I guess that's another question for anybody listening. Do you use the RSS feed?
Yeah, or should we just? Maybe we just get rid of it. And it's already. If you point it to our website, you can get it. But okay, let's table this discussion for a PR. But I really would like if you try to get some suggestions. I would really help, because now it's just a matter of content. Okay. So this is about blog section. Then I started also working on the commercial page. I think we touched it also at the previous meeting. I'm not sure if you saw it, but there is still a bit of the design to be finished, but I pinged all the companies. They're already replying. So I'm gonna keep it open for a week or two. So as we discussed, you go to community, and because I guess companies are part of the community in a one way, and then first you want to there is more prominent is talk to all the other platforms, but some might be interesting into the checking out the companies. You click here and you get to the commercial support page. I need to change the text here, but it's going to be a logo, title below the location, and a tweet long description. And then you click and it goes to a link they provide. And I am randomizing this every hour. That's the only. I just randomize. I don't even know how I implement it, but.
But is that done statically, and does it cause another commit, or?
Yeah, statically, I think I just did it.
Okay. Yeah, it seems a bit noisy if we get another commit every hour to the repo.
It's not a commit every hour. It's just a deployment every hour.
But it's impure, or?
Yeah, it makes the Nix build impure. Well, for local development, I'll say like this. So for local development, you will build it once, and then we will see that there is a difference between your commercial page and my commercial page. But then it's not going to rebuild it, right?
Yeah, but it does mean that our homepage is not reproducible anymore.
I don't think pages should be reproducible, especially for this kind of stuff.
I mean, yeah, it's sort of the message. I mean, most you shouldn't care, except that reproducibility is sort of our thing, right? So
I would make it an option for the build, so that the default is reproducible, because otherwise it feels weird that the website for a reproducible build system isn't reproducible.
Right.
but the website shouldn't be reproducible exactly because of this. But yeah, we can make it an option.
Well, no. I mean, we talked about the JavaScript option, right? So you just have a on-page load scriptlet one-liner probably that randomizes the children of some diff element.
And seed the initial rendered order with a pseudo-random number, which is generated using something that is static but changes every update. Let's say.
No. So I actually thought about it. We don't need to randomize the static order. The static order should just be first come, first serve. So it should be in the historical order in which these entries were added. I mean, that's the
or alphabetical.
A totally fair order. Yeah, could also be alphabetical. But
I mean, you see, this is why I wanted to avoid this. I will put this way: we can. I think it's currently completely fine how it's done. Really, we can only do this. We can still have reproducible, so there can be an option in the build that we only do this for. We only kind of shuffle the order on when we deploy in the CI, right? And that would be good enough. So still, when we will develop and build locally and compare stuff, it's going to look reproducible to us. I think there are items that just generally are not reproducible because you don't want them to be.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I mean, I think that a build of a homepage. I mean, there are actually security sensitive assets in a homepage, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's code potentially, so it's not unreasonable to expect that Nix build of the NixOS homepage is reproducible, and then I can use trust sticks to verify the result and all that. If it's only reproducible because we want to, if it's only irreproducible because we want to randomize the order of the companies on the commercial page, that's to me not a very good reason, because we don't need to randomize it in the static order. Like I said, we can just have it in the order in which they were added. I mean, it's not like anybody has a right to be first in that list or anything. Or just add them sequentially. So if a new company is added, it's added to the end of the list. That's a totally fair criterion.
I don't think it's fair. I wouldn't consider
what's unfair about it?
I mean, I know it's kind of first come, first served, but that's like a bit of a, for me, this is like a, how you call it, unfair advantage of some sort, right? Because you should treat all the companies equal, right? I understand that if somebody is longer here, does not, should not have even advantage over some other companies, right? Like what I was trying to propose is, what if I can make the build so the Nix build will be reproducible, so we can use trust sticks and all of the cool stuff. But just before pushing it, I will also provide the shuffle script, which will shuffle it, right? So the order in which we will execute, we will do Nix build, then we will do this shuffle, and we'll go into the HTML and shuffle the stuff in HTML, and then it's going to upload to Netlify. So it's going to do it outside. The only thing, we're going to build this shuffle script.
Yeah, but then what we're uploading is not what we build, right? It's also a bit. But okay, I mean, you could just use the commit hashes to random seed, so then it gets shuffled in a deterministic way every commit, but it doesn't get reshuffled every hour or something like that.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, right? You want it to be shuffled.
No, I mean, I'm saying, and that's where the JavaScript one-liner comes in. You just do it on page load.
And it's frequently updated enough with the flake lock and blog XML updates. So
Okay. But please, if you have any spare hands on this to kind of finalize it to the end, I will finish the design of the commercial page and everything. But just at least the shuffling, I would appreciate the help, because I definitely hold like the opinion that this should be shuffled wherever it is. Yeah, either on the front end or back end. And there is already a script that does the shuffling. You just need to, well, use the different seed and replace the script. And I'll finish this task to the design part. Sounds okay?
Yeah, sure.
And then the last thing, if there is nothing else, I mean, we can discuss this commercial shuffling part. This is, so I've been working for quite some time, but never had the time to finalize it, but we are really close now. Faceted search, I don't know, like filtered search, let's call it. Faceted, yeah, thank you. Anyway, thank you, Samuel, for really, and TurboMac for a really awesome review. Helped me a lot. I'm trying to find the latest preview. There we go. So it got a bit different. We'll search for, let's say, requests. So here that's the nice part. So you can now filter down your results. So let's say there is still a bit of usability issues which I want to solve, but like it is as good as it is on GitHub search, right? So I was following there. So I'm only interested in, I don't know, Python 3.7 packages. And you see here it shows me, it doesn't, so it's not showing me how many Python 3.7 packages that include requests have BSD3 license, but it shows me how many requests packages have BS3 license. So if I do this, it shows me only two research results, right? Now, is this how it should be? Should it be different? Yeah. I'm not 100% sure how it should be. I'll be honest.
Can you get the?
For me, it looks a bit confusing to show at the very top, showing results 0 to 2.
Mm-hmm.
On GitHub, I just checked, and it seems that they only show the total amount of results, and then if you scroll down, you have the pagination, which shows actually not the number of items per page, but how many pages you have.
Yeah. So
there's a number of results at the top showing 4,008,000, etc.
Yeah. So let's say topics. I click on topics, shows me all the topics. And then it actually removes this because it's not relevant for it. Okay, that actually makes sense. So I need to change this to update it all the time. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say you can do like store pages if you go to a big box electronics store from your area and you search for things where there's filters. If you filter, let's say, laptops by those that are 2-in-1s, then the other filters, the amount of results reduces by the amount of results in this filtered result set.
Yeah. And then you can, okay. I will make sure that I update. So, for example, it's actually just removing 2 lines, and it's going to work. But it will basically say, let's say I click Python 3.7 packages, and then this BSD3 should be number 2, right? Because if I click it, it will show me 2. Correct?
Definitely yes.
Okay. And then the same thing. The rest will also be updated. Okay. It's just a flag I need to, in a query, to remove it, and then everything else will work. There is also a few things that I need to finish. One is it's not really mobile friendly right now, although also I might skip this step because it's also previous search was not mobile friendly. And yeah, this is a CSS fix. And oh yeah, I need to add this no packages set. So for example, some packages might not have license defined, so they will actually not show up to drill down. So I think that's useful. And there is also another thing. We should handle how do we handle the platforms. We should handle them differently. To already only so currently we import all the platforms that are available, but in the UI we actually filter them out, and I think that's not good. We should do it the other way around. At the import time, we should limit them, and we'll define. We need also in generally in Nix community, we need to know what is a so let's say to have tiers for different platforms, right? So how good are we supporting? I suppose Linux is tier 1, and everything else in this list should be at least tier 2. That would be nice to know.
There is the RFC that defines those
Yeah?
platforms.
Can you link it? Because I would. Is it moving ahead? Do you know it?
It's been accepted already.
Oh, can you provide the link to it? I'll make sure that it shows. And
I don't think the RFC defines which platforms are of a certain tier, because it would require updating the RFC, but it defines the platform. It defines the tiers, what they mean. And I think currently it defines in an appropriate manner the platforms too.
Okay. Just if you can comment with the link on it, I would really appreciate it on the PR. But yeah, that's I think this is a huge improvement. Now the sad part, I cannot export. I cannot do anything with this in options. I don't have any metadata out about this. So it would be really nice if I could get this. Let's say who is the maintainer of this, and then show the maintainers on the left side, because I think we have in some sort of maintainers, we have them defined, but
yes, options and option sets can have a maintainer defined.
Yeah, but I tried to get it out, and it's just not this easy. Because, for example, let's say services HTTPD has this metadata, right? So does this mean this max request per child should just inherit this metadata or not? So it's like, right? So yeah, it's a bigger question that we need to solve. Because right now we are actually searching over options as well. And maybe we should be searching over modules, which is much less. Yeah.
At this point, I think for the options, what would be more helpful than facets is a way to drill down into the hierarchy. We already have a hierarchy defined. But I don't
to
know
show
if
it as a tree.
I don't know if Elasticsearch can do anything like that, but that's the kind of more helpful thing that options could show. But if you want to merge the search results from packages, options, and other things at the same location, how do you even show a tree of results for only the options? And
in a proper order.
even then, thinking about the packages, how do you show the facets for the packages while there are results for the documentations and options?
Yeah, so
it's more thinking for later.
Yeah. For now, it's not an easy task, even just like talking about it. But yeah, for now we search over options. Just sadly, there is nothing we can filter over for now. But
just a quick question. If I have some comments, should I put them on the PR, even if there's a bit of them, like, I don't know, a lot of them?
Yeah, well, depends, right? If
can you make actionable comment?
Yeah, like I would say like this: if it's regarding the faceted search, right, then put it on a PR. If it's not, then open an issue, or like one topic, one issue, and then so that we can have a fruitful discussion, because otherwise, if you just throw everything at us, we cannot have discussion about one topic.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Compare with the previous, the current search too, and see if there's already the same issue. If there's the same issue, then it's not let's call it a regression, even if it's not a regression. It would be, if it's not a regression, then it's an existing
issue, feature.
So it should be an issue.
Yeah.
But if it's not part of a change, then that would be. Sorry, I just completely mixed myself up. If the current search also shows the same issue, or if it would benefit from the same change, I guess it comes as an issue.
Yeah.
If your problem comes from a change from the PR, then I guess it might be on the PR.
Yeah. And if you want some new feature, like one issue, one topic at a time, and try to so that we can have discussion. That's lots of people already suggested, and and try to like you can, even before you go into writing and spending time explaining it, you can propose it on the RSC, and we can discuss it, just like, was this already thought of,
Yeah, it's mainly UI and UX comments on the current PR. So that's not huge stuff.
Oh, of course. Then please. Sure. Okay, so this is what's coming. So slowly but surely we're moving forward.
Great job, by the way.
If I'll just put it like this: if anybody wants to work on this, welcome. You don't really need to attend the meetings, but any help is needed. I mean, it's CSS, JavaScript, as you can see, some Nix stuff, some Elm stuff for the search stuff. So any help much needed. And it's like we move slowly, but we move firmly in the direction. Not sure. Ilko, would you like to speak, or was that also just wrong?
Oh yeah, no.
Wrong. Okay. Does anybody wants to bring some other topic? 1, 2, 3. Okay. If that's it, see you in 2 weeks. Thank you for coming.
All right. Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks. Bye.